I've taken this car through every single state in the country except for Alaska and Hawaii, but I haven't herped all of them. I've done a lot of herping in Arizona. I think I've done the most herping in Arizona and New York, obviously New York, because I live in New York, but I've done some herping in Nebraska, in Oklahoma, a little bit in West Texas, Florida, actually, too. I've done a fair bit of herping down there. I have yet to release a video on that, but maybe I will sometime. I saw some crocodiles. That was really cool. But aside from that, I haven't done much herping in any of the other states. That's going to change this time around. I'm actually going to herp Wyoming. A few others in the Northwest, but Wyoming is definitely on the menu. I'm being indecisive about the rest of it, so we'll just have to play it by ear and see what the heck happens. I also want to make it known that this is a paid vacation. I have a week off. Everyone that I work with, we're all friends at the shop, and I don't want to screw anybody over by not showing up for a day or two when I'm supposed to be there. So I want to respect that. This is going to be a short trip, only a week. I can't do everything. Otherwise, I would probably herp every single state. This is definitely a rushed trip. So I found my first herp of Iowa. Not a very interesting find, really, because I've seen American toads before, but this is a large one, and it's, like I said, the only herp that I've found in Iowa. Not really a target state of mine, but still cool to see that in passing. Just saw it at a rest stop. Now, I really like the transition between Nebraska and Wyoming on Interstate 80. It starts to change a little bit in Nebraska. Western Nebraska gets a little more rugged, and then you cross the border into Pine Bluffs, Wyoming, and it starts looking drastically different right after you cross the border. Yeah, I really love when that happens. So I stopped at Cheyenne anyway and got myself a new sticker for my car, did some souvenir shopping, bought a flashlight, a real flashlight, so I can do some night herping over there in western Wyoming, where I was going to be. It's right on the outside of the range of the prairie rattlesnake, and it's interesting that I go to the outside of its range to look for it, because it actually has the largest range out of any rattlesnake in the U.S., at least in the Crotalus genus. When I say the outside of the range, I don't literally mean outside of the range. I just mean on the edge, toward the perimeter of the range of the prairie rattlesnake. And what you're seeing on screen here, I'm not sure whether this is a controlled flame or not, but it was incredibly bright in real life. So I'm pretty sure that I just did some trespassing to get up here. And up here isn't where I want to go. Up there is where I want to go. I want to follow that ridge line a little bit. So this is the last area that I'm going to scope out right here. I've been all over, pretty far away from the hotel right now. I walked way out here from there. So I flipped a lot of rocks. I'm beginning to think that prairie rattlesnakes in this area are probably mostly diurnal right now. Since they're so adaptable, I mean, they have such a wide range, it only makes sense. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do, and then in the morning I'll check out another area nearby. Actually, I'll go down a very long road. So after I got some sleep, I decided to not go down that long road that I had scoped out. I really didn't have much time, as I keep mentioning, and I wanted to really prioritize my time a little bit better. I knew that there were better places to herp, so I figured that I would just keep driving west and thinking about where I wanted to go, doing a little bit of research at stops, like, getting food to eat, stopping at a rest stop, taking a dump, whatever opportunity I could. And this part of the drive that you're seeing right now was pretty nice for me, because I have taken this route before, but I have not seen all this during the daytime. It was at night, so it really just looked like nothing to me. Very unique scenery. Obviously desert landscape, but it still varies quite a bit from the other desert landscape that I've actually seen in daylight. So I like that. Anyway, after eating at a Denny's in Rock Springs, I finally landed on a destination. I was going to herp at this state park in Central Oregon. So one of the things that pointed me to this spot was a distribution map of the different subspecies of Crotalus oreganus, or Crotalus oreganus. I hear it pronounced Crotalus, sometimes I hear it pronounced Crotalus. I've always said Crotalus, so I'm just going to say it, and you're going to fucking bear with me there. But the different subspecies of Crotalus oreganus, there are two in Oregon. There's the Great Basin rattlesnake and then the Northern Pacific rattlesnake. And this specific spot that I had picked out is actually an intergrade zone of the two. So I thought that would be pretty cool. It's also within range of the rubber boa, which is like one of the icons of the Northwest. And that would really be a nice find. But first, thinking that I had a little bit of time to get to where I was going in Oregon, I decided to do a little bit of herping in Idaho. So, of course, the gate was closed. They're closed at dusk, as it says here. Closed 1 hour before sunset. Anyway, that messes up my herping opportunity here. Doesn't make any fucking sense. So I was sitting at a locked gate, and I guess someone was leaving, and the gate automatically opens when someone leaves, so of course I was right through it. I'm just really fucking angry. I don't know, do I park anyway? So everywhere has a no parking sign. How the heck can I park there if there's a no parking sign, right? Finally, I found this little pull off here. It says no trespassing, but I can't find a no parking sign, so I take it to mean that it's a good idea to park here. Well, I'm after the locked gate too, so no one's gonna be rolling up on me. Let's go herping. Idaho. So I found this scorpion. I thought that that was neat because I actually didn't know that they had gone that far up north, but apparently they go even further north. There are houses not too far away and someone's outside over there, so I have to be quiet, but found this talus here. This is actually a designated hiking trail, just no parking space. I find that odd. I mean, there's technically a parking space. It wasn't really a designated parking area, but there was room for my car in the road, so fuck it. I parked there. I gotta be careful here. Now, it should be noted that I did not spend the most time in the world up here, but for the time that I did put in, I actually put in quite a bit of effort as well. Strained my eyes like crazy, looking in every little nook and cranny for the Great Basin rattlesnake, which is what is here. I'd like to check out the base of this right here, but getting down there, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be very fun. Woo-hoo. So I walked the side of that little rock face there like a fucking goat. And I came up to here, only to realize it's the same fucking shit. I'm actually just trying to get back to the trail, man. I want to herp Oregon already. I actually do have a good spot picked out. This is like an on a whim thing, and it's not really paying off. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that this is a western toad. Either way, it's something of the Bufo genus, and it's my first and so far only herp of Idaho, so that's kind of neat, I guess. So after getting on the road for a few short hours, I slept at a rest stop. Then I kept driving, and I was hauling ass at this point because I had a pretty good spot picked out, like I said, and I wanted to spend as much time there as possible. And I knew that the next day I was going to have to call it and just drive back east if I didn't want to be too late for work. So if I find something, it has to be here, right? And actually, as far as I was concerned, I really had to find something on that day. I just couldn't fathom not finding something because I had come all the way out there and just a few toads wasn't really enough for me. I wanted to find a rattlesnake, and a Northern Pacific rattlesnake would be nice. That's really what I wanted to find more than anything else. A few problems. Number one, they don't let you park here at night. Number two, the machine is not working, so it's $5 to park here. I left $20 cash right there. whoever checks that stuff can pocket it and move to the next car. So after trying to bribe the park rangers to let me park my car there, I got hiking and immediately started finding these western fence lizards. That was cool because my first herp of Oregon was a reptile rather than an amphibian. Nothing against amphibians, but I mean, a fence lizard is a little bit more of a significant find than an American toad, in my opinion. Now, this desert highland type of landscape out here in central Oregon, that was really cool to me because I actually haven't been in that part of Oregon, let alone hiked anything that looks like this before. So that was a really neat experience. So I've been herping a lot of these taluses and also just walking the trails too, climbing, looking through these big fields of boulders and just trying as hard as I can to find something. And a big problem out west is that a lot of the herps that are out there, especially the snakes, are just so spread out. And even though they're somewhat abundant, they're not really abundant enough when combined with the fact that they're so spread out that they're easy to find, because they're really not. You do have to look for a very long time, cover a lot of ground, be very thorough, and then you need to experience a whole lot of luck to actually run into something. Or at least that's been my experience so far in the Northwest, because this place looks like an absolute gold mine, and I have not found a single snake so far. So my first thought after seeing this was, man, I would fucking love to see a mountain lion out here. I'm really waiting for the day, just waiting. Oh boy. Oh man, I'm gonna fall. And look at that, another scorpion. So after not finding a snake and only a shed that looks like it was from a gopher snake, I decided to just drive back east and go home. But then I quickly changed my mind and said, you know what, fuck it, I don't need to work. I need to find a rattlesnake, and then I can worry about what happens next later. So I took a massive detour up to eastern Washington, and already started seeing some stuff. I think that this is a side-blotched lizard. These did not really have the classic side blotches, but I don't know what else they'd be. Other than that, they look pretty much like side-blotched lizards. I wish that were better with the lizard identification out there in the West, but... So I've come a long way, and I've zigzagged quite a bit, but I'm about to zigzag even more. For reference, that's my car. You know what's neat? That's actually not even gravel. That's some kind of mammal feces. Something that's been hiding up there. I was just wondering what the fuck that was. And oh, shit, look at that. I found a northern Pacific rattlesnake in Washington State. It really couldn't have played out any better than that. I didn't find a whole lot on the trip, but you know what? Really, when I think back on it, the snake isn't even the first thing that comes to mind. It's very important, yes, to have some kind of an objective, something that you're setting out on doing when you're taking these big road trips, but really, it's also very important to not get too caught up on that and to also enjoy the other experiences that you have along the way. Because if you're going that far, if you're doing something that big, you're going to have a lot of surprises and have a lot of new experiences, even if you've been there before, even if you've taken that route before. Some things will be different, and you'll find a lot of value in that, and that's really what you're going to remember. So yeah, even if I didn't find the snake, it would have been nice. But on the other hand, if I didn't find that snake, you guys probably wouldn't be getting this video. So it's nice to have a success, but a failure is a success in its own way. Just by the standards of another game, just keep that in mind. And that's really the moral of this whole thing. So I had a good time. That's really what matters. Yep, that's it.